Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Mid-City TV. Today, I'm again here with Carlos Sosa, who is a brilliant tour guide here in Yucatan, who has over 30 years of experience, and I love talking to him about all sorts of things that are happening in Yucatan, whether it's history, nature, tours that are going on, what he's doing lately. He's just a wealth of information, and it's so inspiring, and it inspires me to go out and really discover Yucatan, and I'm hoping it will inspire you as well. Today, we are going to talk about the Ruta Puuc that probably many of you have heard of if you either live in Yucatan or are coming, because it's a very popular route of Mayan ruins around Yucatan. So he's going to tell us a little bit about how we can go and discover that once they all get open. And I'm going to invite him in now. Hello, Carlos.
Hola.
Hola, you are back with us. We're so happy to have you back.
Yes, apparently something was happening. The aliens didn't allow us to be on this show.
I know, right? There was something going on. You were going somewhere. I was going somewhere. But we are very happy to have you back. I know people really enjoy our conversations because they learn so much, like I do, about Yucatan, about what's going on.
Glad to be here again.
Yes. So how have you been over the last couple of weeks?
Nah, a little bit busy. Things are starting to take pace again. Gradually, this will be coming, hopefully, like it used to be before the pandemic began.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we just got back into the yellow traffic light, which means lots more things are opening up, and they're opening a lot and really doing a push for tourism, which is obviously really good for you because that you do mainly tours. Yes, that's your
yes.
full work. Yeah.
And another thing that is helping is the vaccination. The vaccines are allowing people to feel a little bit more secure and not with many worries. But gradually, this is going to be coming back to a good point.
Yeah, little by little, it is getting there. And
we have waited a year. We can wait a few more weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, we've come a long way in 1 year. That's for sure. Yeah. That is for sure. Yeah, and the government, the Secretary of Tourism, is pushing the 365 days in Yucatan. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yes, I have seen it.
Yeah, so hopefully people really start to get out and support local tourism and rediscover or discover in a new way different places here in Yucatan.
There are so many that we probably need more than 365 days.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. So, and let me just tell people that are chiming in, be sure to, if you have a question, write it in the comments or just say hi, because I can see your comments come through. So I will definitely give you a shout out, and we appreciate the love. We appreciate it. So, okay. So before we get started, because I told them we're talking about the Ruta Puuc today, but before we get started, you have a really cool project coming up that possibly people that are watching might be interested in. So tell us what is happening at the end of June. What tour you're creating?
The project that we're having in mind is to organize a group, a small one, not really that big, but it will be basically photography. The idea is that we will go to Calakmul. It's the same area that we talked about before. But the reason why we go there is because we have archaeological sites, we have nature, we have a reserve, and being in a jungle, in the middle of the jungle, there are spots where there's no light at all. So at night, we can take photographs from astral photographs, which is taking constellations and the Milky Way and all these kind of objects that we can be watching at night. And also we have some small workshops every afternoon before we start with the journey of photography. That is going to be divided in flora, in fauna, in archaeological sites. But the idea is that people that have a camera and they love to have the camera could have chances. We're going to have trekking or tracking on the jungle paths, looking for birds, looking for animals. So the experience is going to be really nice.
Jaguars.
And jaguars, for sure. We're going to be going to the area that is the largest jaguar reserve that we have in the country. And the top of this is that a good friend of mine that is a photographer for National Geographic is going to be with us. He's the one that is going to be leading the group. He's the one that is going to be handling all these workshops, which are going to be before every photograph journey that we start. So he's going to be with us all the way to Calakmul and back to Merida. So the idea is that we are working in organizing the times and organizing the activities. And of course, at the same time, we're going to be checking the cost and everything. So we're going to be able next week to have a program already defined with the different details of what we're going to be doing, the days in a way. The days might vary a little bit depending on conditions.
Right.
Fortunately, nowadays, we have a chance to know what is going to be happening with the weather within a week from the day that we are on. So if we can see that the weather is nice and it's going to be sunny, no rain or no storms, anything like that, we just go ahead with the time that we schedule. If we can see there is a chance that something will happen, we might move it either earlier or a little bit later, depending on what is easier.
Okay, so we will definitely be letting you know, and I will be posting about it on Mid-City Beat feed. And also, we were speaking that Carlos and I and the photographer from National Geographic will do a live to let you know a little bit more about the trip. But
exactly, and if somebody has questions to him, they can ask him, and then we can.
Yes, exactly. Right. If you are a photography enthusiast, or I mean, even an amateur, I have this. You know, I love taking photos. If anybody follows Mid-City knows. Although I don't take it with this, I take it with this. Right. So I am very much an amateur. So if I can do it, anybody can that just might have an interest in photography and nature and a huge bioreserve of the area, which is actually in Campeche. Yeah.
Right. You can use your some of these cell phones now, the new ones, they are excellent in quality of taking pictures. The only disadvantage that you might have is that you cannot attach a telephoto to the telephone, which you can do it anyway nowadays. But if you don't have the telephoto and the attachment to put them on the cell phone, then you're going to be limited. But you can still take amazing pictures with that. But of course, the other cameras will open a door that will be incredible wide, so you can take all kinds of different pictures.
Right. So anyway, we wanted to just give a little plug for that before we start talking about the Ruta Puuc, just in case you might be interested in going, because there's only going to be maybe how many 14 to 20 max, or
no, it will be max. It will be 14 people.
Oh, okay. So 14 max. So it's a small group. So if you wanted to take advantage and have an expert photographer and tour guide, here's your chance. So a great opportunity. And hi, David from Vancouver. How are you? David saying hello, Carlos.
Thank you. Hello, David. So glad to have you here.
Yes. So, okay. So let's start and talk a little bit about Ruta Puuc. So when people come to Yucatan, of course, they want to see Mayan ruins. That's on the top of everybody's list because we're in the middle of the Maya world. Just an extraordinary amount of ruins and temples that are really fascinating. So tell us about the Ruta Puuc. What is the Ruta Puuc, Carlos?
The Ruta Puuc is, the Puuc region is the section of the state that is on the southern side. That's exactly where Uxmal, Muna, all the southern part of Oshkuskab and all these places that you can see the map, all that line that surrounds, make like a circle, like a loop. Mm-hmm. All these yellow dots that you see on the bottom will be the sites that can be visited once they are open. But all this region is considered to be one of the richest as far as agriculture. We have talked about it before. But anyway, the southern side of Yucatan is the richest part of the environment as far as agriculture is concerned. So the cities that developed in that region, they were in a different condition than the ones that were located on the northern part of the state, like Chichen Itza or Mayapan or Civichaltún, the ones that are closer to the coast on the northern part. So these cities, the region that is called Puuc, which in Maya means the valley between the hills, because that section or that region has a lot of hills. So that those particular cities, they were built with a different style of decoration or architecture. the richness of the land, the richness of the vegetation, the fauna, the flora that we have in that area, and also the quality of the soil that allow these people who live in these villages or these cities located in that part, they could actually produce agriculture products in a very easier way than in the northern part. So that allowed them in a way, or that gave them the opportunity, or gave them enough time in order to create, in order to be building, decorating, creating art, creating architecture, which there is a difference in the quality of the decoration that you can find between the southern side of Yucatan and the northern part of it. Even though when the style that was developed on the Puuc region, that, by the way, the styles get the name of the region where they are developed. So we have Puuc, we have Chenes, which is southern side of the Puuc in the state of Campeche. We have Rio Bec, that is in Calakmul, in that region. Not exactly Calakmul, but in that particular region, closer to the Guatemala border, which is also called the Northern Petén, which is a richer and deeper jungle. So all these styles get that kind of influence on the area and the name of the area where they were developed. And Puuc can be found everywhere that we move around the peninsula of Yucatan. These Mayas share.
What did you say? What did you say Puuc means?
Puuc, the valley between the hills.
Okay, the valley between
and that kind of decoration that was developed, that is very rich with a lot of elements, with a lot of details. And one of the characteristics of their style is that most of the decoration is found above the door entrance level. The lowest section below the entrance level will be either columns or little drums or few details and decoration, but most of it is it's above, on the higher part, on the upper part of the building or the facade. And that can be found in many places. They copy the styles. They copied in Chichen. They copied in many places. You can find Puuc style on the Rio Bec region. And Rio Bec is a different style that is not found in the Yucatan, which is something that is completely different. I mean, you can find Chenes, you can find Puuc on the Rio Bec and Calakmul region, but you don't find Rio Bec and you don't find Calakmul style on the northern parts. For some reason, this didn't go both ways.
So in the picture here that we see of Labna,
we are looking at Labna.
And is this the style that you're talking about?
That is a style. If you look, there's like a frieze, there's like a cornice, like a belt right above the entrance.
Okay, let's maybe zoom it in a little bit. Okay.
Okay,
so
you can see the wall or the section where the entrance is flat. It doesn't have any decoration except on the corner. We might have a couple of columns and a few details, but most of the decoration is found above the entrance level.
Okay.
That is what is called Puuc.
Ah, right. And so is this where my cursor is? I don't know if you can see that, but is that
exactly? That is called chimes. That kind of symbols, a small symbol you see there, like it looks like a pyramid upside down. If you look at not on the inner section of the carving, on the outside section of it. It could be like having two small pyramids that are close together. One is upside down and the other one will be standing straight. So that is called chimes, and that is only found in certain cities, not everywhere. One of the interesting aspects of this kind of a style in that particular region is that you can find a variation of the style in each one of these small places. Like Sayil, this is Labna. Labna has a variation on the Puuc style. Cabá has another variation. Sayil has another variation, being so close to each other, but you can see the difference between the architecture. It seems that the influence of Uxmal, that was the ruling city of that particular region, was in the sense of political and economical. But religion and architecture, they were independent. They didn't have to be following a rule in that way.
Oh, okay, so here, let's show. Uxmal is very, very popular. A lot of people that come to Yucatan.
It's the largest in that particular region, and Uxmal was apparently the ruling city of that particular region. There was another city nearby, in a straight line, will be like about 35 kilometers or so, which is called Oxquintoc, which is further west from Uxmal. That also was very large, and it was another city that controlled and dominated another region that is closer to the coast.
Okay.
So depending on how far from the coast they were having different kind of activities, and they also developed a different style of Puuc, a variation of the Puuc style in a way.
Okay. But in the Ruta Puuc, Uxmal is the largest ruin.
Uxmal is the largest. It was the ruling city of that particular region. Then we have Cava, that is about 22 kilometers away from Uxmal. That was also fairly large, larger than, about the same size of the other ones. What confuses in a way is that all these small places, we call them small because the restoration has been really limited, not because they were really that small. They were small, but not really that small. So Cava, Sayil, Ixlapac, and Labna, those are the four are in the Ruta Puuc. Those ones were very close to each other, and they all depended from Uxmal. They were like satellite cities. This is like a feudal system that the smaller cities were providing everything to the bigger ones. So in the case, like the ruling city.
Is this Cava?
That is Cava, right.
Uh-huh.
And that building is totally unique. There is no other place or no other building in any other place on the Maya world where you can find something like that.
So, okay.
All the facade that we can see here now
Wow.
was totally covered with rengat masks. In fact, the right wing, which is at the right side of the building,
right
where you have the mouse, all this section here is still covered with the rengat masks, and all the facade, all the way up to the top, even to the roof comb. Right, the roof comb was a wall that was on top of the building, but all that wall to reach the roof was totally covered with the rengat masks.
Okay. What is that you're saying? The renka?
The roof comb, the wall that is on top of it.
Uh-huh.
It's called the roof comb, or in Spanish you call it cresteria.
Okay, but you said that it was covered with what?
The rengat mask, with the mask of Chaak.
And Chaak is
the rain god.
The rain god.
And that's a human face that you see on the corners, like in Uxmal, you can see it on the corner of most of the buildings, and with a hook that sticks out of the wall, which is a nose. So that particular facade that we can see here was totally covered. They were one after the other, and one on top and below the other one. So it was a total mosaic of rain god masks.
So it was covered with the face of the rain god.
Exactly, the face of rain god.
It's just like one after the other, after the other, after the other.
One after the other, right next to each other. In fact, they share the ears.
Oh, wow.
You can get two together, and you can see how they share one ear.
Right.
So this is an amazing place. That's exactly what I was telling you. Each one of these places have something in architecture that is totally different to the rest of them.
Right.
Labna has something that is really amazing. Sayil has one building that is spectacular. It's a 3-story building that used to have more than 90 rooms. Half of it is restored. The other half is still overgrown. Not overgrown, but not restored. It's only rubble.
Right.
But that is the only place on this region where we can find a figure that is upside down, which in the East Coast, in Quintana Roo, in Tulum, and Coba, has been identified as the descending god, which is a human figure in an upside-down position facing west. And most of the archaeologists believe that it's associated to the sunset.
It's associated with the sunset because it's facing
west, and it's upside down, like it's diving in. And it's only found on the East Coast, which is Quintana Roo, on that section, along that area. And the only one outside of that particular region, which is Tulum and Cobá, we can find, that will be the easiest place to find because they are open, so they can be visited, will be in Sayil. And the palace of Sayil, that's where we can see that particular figure. And Labna is different, and Ixlapac is different. So we have a very interesting trip to go there. And we have to say that to go to the Ruta Puuc, you have to go on your own car, or with a small car, because the only service, which is not really very sure, because sometimes it's canceled, it will be a bus that will be going from Mérida on Uxmal and goes all the way down to Labna, but it only gives you about 30 minutes in each one of the places. But nowadays, which are closed, that service, of course, is canceled. This is Sayil. And you can see on the second level, where you can see columns on the doors.
Try to zoom it in.
If you get to, there is a little wider wall that is between the columns. Right above that wall, there's a series like columns along the wall. Between the columns, that's where the upside down figure is.
Right. So
If you can make a zoom, if you can make a zoom of that particular part, we might be able to see it.
Okay, I'm zooming in here, but can you see it? It like right in the middle?
I can see it because I know where it is. But somebody that doesn't know it, it will be hard to see. We have to get a lot closer so we can look at it.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
The quality of the photo might not be perfect.
As much as you can, and then we might be able to see it.
Okay, well, here we go.
More, go. Don't be afraid, go.
But where is it? Is it here? Or
It's right there. It's right there where it is, but it's still too far, so we cannot see the details. You have to make it closer.
But so it is an upside down rain god?
Human figure. No, it's a human figure that is upside down.
Okay.
And that facade is facing west. So that's why the archaeologists believe that it's related to the sunset.
Right. So, okay, so Carlos, if we want to go on the Ruta Puuc, and we have to have our own car, you said.
Yes, that will be the best, because that way you can visit all of them. And once you see Labna, you can keep going, and you're going to be reaching the region where all the fruit plantations are. These co-ops that are raising or growing citrus and all other kinds of fruits and vegetables to get to Loltun. That is a cave.
Right.
And Loltun is an amazing place too. Interesting. There is a cave that you would walk about 2 kilometers. This is where you can walk through the cave to see it, and then come out in another side.
So hold on. So do you start at Loltun?
No, you start. Normally, you will start in Uxmal.
Okay, so here,
if you want to make Uxmal, or if they have seen Uxmal and they're just going to the Ruta Puuc, then they will start in Cabá. They start in Cabá, then they go to Sayil, Islapac, Labna, and then Loltun.
Okay.
Loltun will be the last one.
Okay, so we'll go back to the map here in just a second so people can kind of get a visual of it.
Exactly.
I want to show you, this is Loltun.
That is Loltun.
And just one of the pictures, but Loltun is quite a huge cave. Can you tell us a little bit about the cave?
Loltun, the length that has been already explored is about, they believe that is between 8 and 12 kilometers of extension, the cave. There might be another galleries that haven't been discovered yet, or they haven't been explored. But what you walk through the cave to visit, this will be about 2 kilometers, which is a little bit over a mile.
Okay.
This is where you can walk through with a guide. You cannot go inside on your own because you can get lost at places which are dark. They have to be putting the lights on as you walk through. And there's a lot of interesting things in Loltun. Caves used to be used by the Mayas in order to get material like pigments, the pieces of stalactite to make rollers for the metates, which is where they ground the corn. They also got clay, all the kinds of material. They got inside quartz and all the kinds of materials. And besides that, they used to bury people, and they used to have offerings inside where you can find remains of petroglyphs, paintings, and all the kinds of artifacts, a lot of pieces of pottery that were left there. So caves were always important. They were the entrances to the underworld.
Okay. So in the cave, it's over a mile long, the cave?
No, the cave is much more than that. It's over 6 miles long. But the only places that we visit as we go through it will be the ones which have been explored, that have been conditioned, they have the lights on, they make some kind of rails that you can be holding on to give you some facilities for people that want to go through it. And that is it's about 2 kilometers where you walk.
Wow, that's fantastic. And are there cenotes down there? I've never been on these.
They are some kind of deposit of water, but that's only because the water is filtering through the ceiling.
Okay.
After the rain, especially during the rainy season, that's when after rainy season, that's what you can see. Some water has been like little ponds where the water accumulated after going through the stone. Right. But there are no cenotes. That is too high to find cenotes. Cenotes are limited to regions which are not too high in relation to sea level.
Okay. And real quick, Marilia, hello Marilia. She says Carlos is the best guide in Yucatan. Congratulations.
Gracias.
Yes, we know Marilia. He's like my super best guide. We love Carlos. The Mid-City Beat official tour guide.
Gracias.
Yes. Okay. So going back, kind of going back to that question of, so if somebody wants to go to take a day trip, although they can't do it quite yet because most of these sites are
all of them are closed except Uxmal is the only one that is open. But let me tell you, there's a few other things that you can do besides visiting the archaeological sites. You should plan to go as early as you can. So the first stop that you will make will be Muna.
Okay.
As you enter Muna, about, I don't know, 6-7 blocks after that, on the left side of the street, of the road, there is a place that is called El Regalo de Dios, God's gift. That is what we call a loncheria, where you can get some of the best salbutes and panuchos and tacos and juices made out of natural fruits. And that place is just amazing to have a breakfast. That's why you need to start a journey like that.
Okay, so everybody get out their notepad. Okay, so I'm going to write it here in the comments.
It's called Regalo de Dios.
Regalo de Dios, which means God's gift. God's gift.
And you're going to have a blast with that food that they sell in that place. Every time I have a chance, I stop there. And sometimes when I don't have anything to do and I have the time, I go there to have breakfast.
Okay, so that's in where you said? What pueblo?
Muna, in Muna.
Okay, so I'm putting it here in the chat, everybody. It'll stay in the chat. Regalo de Dios is the best breakfast place in Muna.
In Muna. And then about 2 or 3 blocks ahead, and going in the same direction as you are entering Muna, there is a little park on the right that is called Los Ceibos. They have the kepa trees, ceibas. And just driving in on the left side of the street, as you drive into that, about 50 meters away from the main road, there is a workshop that is called Los Ceibos, Mayan art. And the girl that runs the place, Patricia Martin, is just an amazing artist. She's got replicas of Mayan art in ceramic and plates and all kinds of things that the ancient Mayas used to do. And Patricia is always asked by INA, which is the National Institute of Anthropology and History, to make the replicas of these objects that are going to be used in symposiums or in traveling exhibits in other countries. And the quality of her, and you can see her working. It's a family business. Her husband and sons are the ones that make the pottery, and Patricia is the one that paints them and designs them. It's a it's a must.
What is Patricia's last name, you said?
Martin, Patricia Martin.
Okay, so I'm also putting that in the chat so we can have it. So in Muna, the workshop is called Los Ceibos.
Los Ceibos. You can only write down on Facebook Patricia Martin, Maya Art Los Ceibos. It will give you all the directions. It will give you the pictures that you might need to see in order to know exactly what you're going to be finding with her.
Okay, so that's a great tip.
And you can also buy pieces that she sells. That's exactly what she does. But some of those pieces are so great. And some of them are, well, the quality of her work is it's deserving the prices that she's got. Wow,
that's really, I think I actually just found.
You have to see it.
So let's see if I was able to get this real quick here, and I'll show you guys. Because that's
Patricia Martin.
What?
In Facebook, Patricia Martin in face.
Is this it?
That's her. That is her. That's exactly her. And she's painting in one of these vessels made out of pottery. And she uses the same natural pigments that they collect from trees, from vines, from dirt, from the caves. And they just do it. They just do it like the Mayans used to do that. And they cook and put them in an oven.
Wow.
And the process is amazing.
Wow, that's a great tip. So, okay, you can't go to see all the ruins right now except for Uxmal.
But you can do that. But you can go to have breakfast
in
Muna, and then you can see Patricia. And then you can do another thing. As you keep going and go through Muna, once you pass the main square, you keep going up to the hill in order to go to Uxmal. Once you get to the top of the hill, there's a place on the left side that is also where another craftsman lives, or not lives there, he works, that's his workshop. Pedro is a guy that is also a craftsman. He makes different things than Patricia, but he's got really nice things in that place too. But also the view. When you get to that top, you are on the top of the rim of the crater. So if you look up north behind you, you're gonna be seeing the flat land towards the north, towards Merida, which is a crater. And when you look to the south, you're gonna be seeing a hilly land, and you can even see Uxmal from there. So that means that you're out of the crater. Wow, and that crater is a chain of hills that you see along the way. Yes,
okay, so let's go over where that is. But before we do that again, Tom Geronimo, he chimes in and says Patricia's work is museum quality. So Tom
it's more than museum quality.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. And also, we have a quick question from David. Uxmal is fantastic. However, other than iguanas, I didn't see any wildlife. Specifically, are there any exotic birds along the Ruta Puuc?
There are many. There are many birds along the way, and sometimes the people which are around the site scare them. But I have seen foxes. I have seen quatimundis. Besides iguanas, I have seen the snakes. I have seen owls and hawks. And many birds. That place is, in fact, Caba, it's a park, it's a state park, a nature park. And in Caba has a lot of birds. All the region, all the part of the region, all the Puuc region is very rich in animals. In fact, there is a reserve on the Puuc that is called the Jaguar of the Puuc, because there are jaguars in that region too.
Oh, okay, right.
So there is a place called Kiwik. There is another Maya site that is a little bit further south of Labna. You have to go to Loltun and then go to a place that is called Shul, that is not too far from Loltun. And you just keep going south, and that will lead you to an archaeological site that is a reserve that is called Kiwik. And they have organized they have a project that involves the archaeological section and also nature, some kind of a reserve. And they have created this association that's called the Jaguar of the Puuc.
So if you want to see specific nature, you can go to Kiwik.
No, Kiwik, you have to make a reservation. You have to get in touch with them. It's not an open place like Uxmal or any other ones. It has to be under a reservation.
But you could see wildlife. And what else is at Kiwik?
There is wildlife and the archaeological site, Kiwik.
Okay.
But it's not a place like it's an open spot like Uxmal that you just go there and get in. You had to make a reservation. You had to do the arrangements in advance so you can get in.
Right. Okay, so I'll put that in there. So, but let's go back a little bit where you said you were talking about Pedro. So so how would you get to go and see the crater?
The crater?
Yeah.
You want to see the crater. Remember that we have talked about that before, because it's been so many millions of years ago, the sediment filled it up. So we only see a flat land. That's all what we see. Okay. And when you look south, that's where you can see all the land. There's a lot of hills. At the distance, you can see a hilly land. And that's and if you keep looking straight, if you don't find it, you can ask Pedro or whoever is there to point out to you where Uxmal is, and you can see some white spots at the distance, which is Uxmal.
How do you get to that spot? Say you
just drive as you are leaving Muna, going up the hill in order to get to Uxmal. You have to go through Muna, and you have to go straight to go up the hill. Once you get to the top, there's the only set of house that you will see on the left side, which is a workshop and the store. And Pedro has a cactus garden. Pedro has a little cave there, so he can organize a few other things around it that you can take a little tour with him, going through the cave, going through the cactus garden, and he's got some other activities that he can organize. Like if you want to go on those days that the Puuc region is closed, that you cannot see neither one of the places there, so you can have a day that will be kind of filled with the breakfast, with Patricia, with Pedro, and then Uxmal, and you can go to Mani. You can go to Mani. You just drive back to Tikul, and from Tikul, Mani is really close.
Right. Okay, hold on. So because I'm writing some notes in here. I'm taking notes. See, I'm a teacher and a student, a perpetual student. Okay, so as you're leaving Muna, I'm putting this in the comments, everybody, so you can note this down. As you're leaving Muna, you go towards Uxmal. There's an artist. His name's Pedro.
On top of the hill.
There is an artist, Pedro, on the top of the hill. And the top.
It's the only place that you see on top of the hill.
It's a house and a cactus garden.
It's one of these palapa houses, kind of big, that you can see it's all decorated, and there's got a little place. He's got also some of the jobones of the log with the melipona. He raises melipona bees.
Okay.
He's got them right there, and he's got the garden on the back. He's got the caves. He has like a track that you can see, or he can take you around because you need somebody to guide you. Otherwise, you can get lost in that particular place.
For tourists to come.
Sure. He's open for tourists to come there. You can even have some drinks there. Sometimes he's got coconuts, or he's got all the fruits that you can get drinks out of it. He's got like a little section with tables under the trees, and so that's another spot that you can stop at and do something.
Right. Yeah. Get to know something new. Get to see.
And
something.
besides that, he's got some really interesting pieces. He makes drums. You know, tunkul. Have you heard the word tunkul?
No.
It's a drum made out of a log from a tree. And Pedro makes it, and those are the drums that the Mayas used to be communicating, and also in ceremonies and dances.
Okay.
And Pedro makes them. In fact, I bought one of them from him that is like a corn ear. And when you scratch it with a stick, it sounds like a frog.
Oh, interesting. Do you have it there?
I do have it. Yeah. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's see it. Is it close?
Okay, give me a minute. Yeah, it's right behind me. Give me a minute.
Hold on just a second. So we're getting you some really great ideas for day trips. Hopefully the Ruta Puuc, all of the sites will be open soon. But even with the yellow light, I just got the list of all the touristic sites that are open. Aren't yet, and not all these sites are open yet, even with the yellow light. So we're hoping in the next month or two. But
can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Can you? Okay,
listen.
Name, how do you
spell
hear
it?
Oh.
But listen to this.
Yeah, that's like a toad. Kind of like it sounds like a marimba.
It's not like a manchun because of the sizes of the log, and also the width of the cut on the wood that will give you a different key when you hit it.
And what is the drum again, Carlos?
Tunkul.
Tuncul.
Tunkul. K.
Kul.
Tunkul.
Okay.
Tunkul.
Cool. Very, very, very cool.
Pedro makes them. He makes drums. He's got interesting things. It's worth to stop there.
Oh, and Tom also chimed in and says you can talk to Thomas Gallareta.
Tomás Gallareta, but he's living in Oshtuska. But you can also contact him in Facebook or Messenger. Tomás Gallareta is one of the two persons in charge in the Reserve of Kiwik. Okay. The other one is James Callahan. James is an anthropologist, and Tomás is an archaeologist.
Okay. So if you want to go to Kiwik, you can contact them through Facebook as well. Yeah.
Yes, you can find it in Face and go to Messenger. You can send him a message and get a deal with him.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and kind of wrap things up here about the Ruta Puuc. But anything else that we need to know about?
Well, you know, Mani. You can always go back to Mani. Go back from Uxmal to or I don't know if it's open yet, but in Santa Elena, that is a little bit beyond Uxmal, about some 15, 18 kilometers from Uxmal. There's a church that is on top of a hill. That they found some mummies of children in that church.
Okay,
and they have a little museum, but I'm not sure the museum is open. I understand that museum was closed by the pandemic, and I'm not sure if it is open yet.
And where was that again?
Santa Elena.
In Santa Elena, and where is that by?
Is the next town after Uxmal? It's beyond Uxmal.
Okay, between Uxmal and Caba.
And Caba, exactly.
Okay, so it's between Uxmal and Caba, Santa Elena.
Santa Elena.
mummies of children.
They have a little museum right there, but I'm quite sure that it's closed yet.
It's still closed. Where they have mummies.
Mummies.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and kind of finish things up here. Again, thank you so much, Carlos, for all of your knowledge and all your fun tidbits and tips, for sure. So, of course, remember, you all can contact Carlos. Carlos, let's put your number in again here. What is or let's put your email. What is your email again?
Okay, Balambe.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Balambe9@yahoo.com.mx.
And my number is 9992.
Okay.
51.
99. Hold on. Let me put it. Okay. 99, 92, 51.
51, 34.
34.
58.
58. Okay. So here we'll put that one up there too. So if you happen to have a group or a small group and you want to learn something about Yucatan and go out and discover, of course, Carlos is always giving his services, and you could organize a really cool tour. And again, just as a reminder, he's organizing a tour to Calakmul, a photography tour, where there will be a photographer from National Geographic and Carlos, and you can come with your camera, even if you don't know too much about it, like me. You can learn and take really cool pictures and see amazing wildlife. So that's going to be coming up, and we're going to do a video with that as well to kind of promote that. That'll be at the end of June, so you can kind of keep that in mind. And lots of cool things. We want to really start to get out there and discover Yucatan, support the local economy, support local tourism and local tour guides, and learn about the state. There's so many cool things here that will really enrich our lives.
Soon, when the things are open, you're gonna be able to find so many different things so beautiful. Like there was a small, before we shut this down, there's a small place that is called south of the Cache, about 15 kilometers south of the Cache. It's called Chacmultum. Just to start, open the appetite for Chacmultum. Write it down so they can Google it.
Okay, I'm gonna write it. Okay, how do you spell it?
CHAC. MULTUN.
MULTUN. All one word?
All one word. Chacmultum.
Okay, so this is...
It's the same region. That is exactly the same region where Kiwik is, where Chacmultum is, where Labna is, the same particular area.
Ruta Puuc.
It's la Ruta Puuc. Yeah, well, actually, out of what is known as the Ruta Puuc, but as the Puuc region.
Okay, and what is Chacmultum?
It's another archaeological site, but all the stones that were used to build the structures right there came from the hills, and they are pink. That is the reason why it's called Chacmultum. They have a lot of iron. The pink color on the stones on the southern side of Yucatan that come from the hills have that color because of the iron that is found on the ground. That is why you can get that. It's what is called Cantera Rosa. Some people call it Cantera Rosa.
Okay.
Now you can see in some of the haciendas, you can see in some of the houses that have been renewed or remodeled, they can get this and they polish it and it looks like marble, but pink.
Wow. Yeah.
So those, when you take a look at the pictures of Chacmultum in Google, you're going to be seeing the pink color on the stones, on the walls.
Okay. So Chacmultum, and I wrote it in the comments. So I've been taking notes in the comments, everybody. So you can go check out the comments.
But Chacmultum is closed yet. I mean, the only area that you can visit it in that particular site now will be Uxmal.
Uxmal.
You can visit also Loltum is closed. You can visit Oxquintoc.
Okay.
Those are the places you can visit.
Okay. Right. And then
the rest of them are closed. And Kiwik, yeah, I understand that Kiwik you can visit it because it is not administrated by INA. So Kiwik is managed in a different way. To go to Kiwik, you have to talk to Tomas Tomas
Okay.
Gallareta, you can get hold of him and set up, ask him if it can be done and how and the conditions and everything else.
Right. All right. Well, Doris says very interesting chat. Thank you. Thanks, Doris, for chiming in. And yes, all right. So we're going to go ahead and finish up. Thank you so much, Carlos.
It's a pleasure as always.
Yes, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today.
In 2 weeks, nos vamos, sure. Of course.
All right. So be sure to chime in, everybody. And we will see you next time.
We'll see you in 2 weeks if nothing happens.